Hello, everyone, and welcome to Canada CPA Online Academy. Thank you. Welcome all new subscribers. Thank you for all your questions. One question I'm getting repeatedly now, as I think you are getting into May attempt and capstone 2, that how to write the cases, what is the approach, case writing strategies, how to start. So I'm just trying to give you an example of a day 3 case. This is a CPA Canada case, but I'm just going to walk you through how you should how I what was my practice, or what was my approach to handle the day 3 case. Now, based on I don't remember how long this case was, but suppose the case is for 90 minutes. You should always have at least 15% time, for 15 to 20% of the time for the case reading. So that gives you 15 to 15 minutes for the going through the initial reading and AOs. So we will try to run through this case. So here, let's start. So I'm trying to mark the things that I feel that are important, that would be important for writing an AO. So like Bamboo Bike Inc. is a privately owned. So when privately owned, immediately it should click to you that ASPE would be. So I'm marking that it is ASPE. Now, keep this in mind. Sometimes some privately owned can be IFRS. So keep an eye in the future descriptions if they're saying that it is IFRS. But generally, when you're saying privately owned, it is ASPE. Now, we don't know if there are any FR AOs or not, but wherever you are getting the information, try to start trying to analyze and simplify. Then they are giving the revenues, and then they are giving what is their customer targeted base, um, it's how it started, what is their product, and things like that. Manufacturing, so there is a process, you would know. Then B bike is the toy that attracts new customers. So that is their selling point. So keep that in mind for writing some qualitative aspects of some AOs that might be important somewhere. Now, in the next paragraph, we are given what they are. It is not clearly given as a mission and vision, but mission they have given, but like it's not given as a clearly as a vision and mission. But you should highlight these points, because what they're saying is safety, quality, and sustainability are their key attributes that they are focusing on. Now, this is very important, because even if they haven't asked you directly what is the vision and mission of the company, you're still going to need this information in the qualitative aspect of some AOs. Like suppose you are analyzing and there is one option where there is a there the material use is plastic against wood. So if the company is giving an focus to sustainability, what would be the qualitative aspect? So sometimes is all the decisions are not necessarily based on numbers or profit. Most of the times it has other qualitative factors, and these qualitative factors you will get in those narrations or these additional information paragraphs that you are seeing. So start connecting the dots, what they're trying to say. So this is their focus. So you have to keep, whenever you are giving any option about any AO, you should keep whether it aligns to this vision and mission. Again, they are specifically saying that they are an environmentally friendly option. It was named as an industry leader in terms of labor practices, offering above average compensation to employees. Now, this again states that people are important for them. They have been listed in the Canada's top employers list. So there is an option further that asks you to analyze if they could have an extra shift for employees. And then in that case, you should be able to qualitatively discuss these aspects, that okay, that they are Canada's top employees list. So if adding a shift might be stressful to the workers, and then it might not retain their standard of the top employers, or things like that, that would qualitatively impact this this standing. So this is their HR policy. Now, some AOs are very direct. Like see here, the CFO asks you for an advice on production volumes, and the information is given in Appendix 1, explaining that Q1, Q2 board has agreed to not make any changes. So you have to very specifically pay attention that they are not interested in making any changes in Q1 and Q2. That means you will have to just analyze Q2. Now, this is a very directed, I would say, very specific AO what they want. So the board wants to evaluate the options thoroughly before committing to a plan. So they want to, they have a labor shortage. That's why they have some options, and he wants you to examine those options, and those would be applicable in Q3, Q4, not in Q1, Q2. So very directed. But now see here, feel free to address any additional issues that you know. Now, this is a food for thought kind of thing that is there something in between the line? Is something not making the sense? And is there something as a CPA you can comment? So I've just highlighted here. And then I'm now, right now I have done this on this document itself, but keep keep a habit of printing the case and then actually highlighting, marking and writing the notes. So whatever the boxes I have made, so these would be your notes in your outline as such. So while outlining what I have identified, what is your role? Your role is an internal accountant. Then what is your first AO is the direct labor as the key factor. Then you need to do quantitative analysis of the three options. Then there is qualitative analysis as well, because see, there specifically they're saying ask you to provide quantitative and qualitative analysis of the three options. So this is very, when they are specifically giving you qualitative, quantitative, you have to attempt both. Don't waste too much time in quantitative analysis. Qualitative analysis also has equal focus. You will see it in later in the feedback guides that just making a perfect calculation does not give you the marks, does not give you the C. If a qualitative analysis is expected, you are supposed to write at least 2 or 3 pros, 2 or 3 cons of the each option. So pay attention what they're asking. Sometimes they ask you that only quantitative analysis is required, then okay, then you don't have to worry about the qualitative. If nothing is given, you are required to do both. Always keep that in mind. Then next AO is no change plan or plan for no change plan or plan for Q3. Okay, what is the plan for Q3? Then the another option is change in process. So various options they have given, and you have to do the qualitative analysis and strategic fit. So strategic fit would be whether it aligns to vision and mission. Now in these options, you might find somewhere that this makes sense by numbers, like quantitative it makes sense, but it does not align with their sustainability or environmental friendly or labor type of issues. So in that case, you would say that you would have to give conclusion based on linking all the factors. Now we move back to Appendix 1. Now remember, we know that there is a labor shortage that was mentioned, and then there is a production and everything is given and how much the labor is short. So I know that this would be, so start putting together, okay, this would be a marginal costing with a key factor. So I have to calculate the calculation base per labor hour for this, and that would be my deciding factor. Now I'm marking, you should always mark wherever there are numbers. So like how much rate is paid uh, for variable now cost, how much the rate is, total fixed overheads and things like that. Then in the option 1, again, highlighting the numbers, what is the labor hours required for that, what they would charge, what will happen. Then second option is add shift. So add shift, again, it links to the employee satisfaction and things like that. Here also, I have highlighted what would be the qualitative factors, what is the numbers that I would require. If you like, I used to start putting in the numbers in the exhibit as I'm starting to put together the case facts and everything. Okay, so now we have arrived until all the three options. Now they are saying that now this is a tax AO taxation that they are giving some membership to fitness and recreational facilities. So whether it would be taxable or not taxable. If they pay tuition costs, then what type of course should they enroll? What would be the tax scenario? Gift certificates if they give. So you should know the rules of related to all that. I made a video related to tax AOs, so go check that to understand how to write tax AOs. Three simple steps: write the tax rule, write the tax case facts, how it applies to that, and then calculate and conclude. Just three simple steps for any tax. So for gift certificates, what is the amount? What is the tax rule? At up to what amount they are allowed? After that, what it is taxable, what is the case fact, what they're giving, and conclude whether it would be taxable for employees or not. Now, this is the AO6 I'm marking. Next is again, oh, okay, so option 3 they have given here. So two options they have given here. In between there is a tax AO and then the option 3. Okay, that's it. That's the case. So it takes, so I'm taking 15 minutes to note down what are the important factors that would be required for my qualitative aspect. Like C tends to create more waste. Now, the company is talking about sustainability. If this creates more waste, that means that would be a con, that this is not in line. Substituting recycled plastic again is it might be now they are doing recycled. So recycled may be considered for sustainability, but depending on what would be the cost and things like that, you would have to again analyze. But at this time, don't, the important thing is, don't try to solve the case. Okay, don't try to start solving the case at this point. What is your uh, only what you're trying to do is trying to analyze the AOs, trying to analyze what fits there and what you would need. You have the rest of the time to figure out how to apply those facts. So don't get stressed, or don't start thinking about how I would solve this, what is the tax rule for this. Just identify, okay, there is a tax AO, they have asked 4 points for taxation. You're just trying to plot everything, don't try to solve everything, otherwise you would waste the planning time. So that is the first part, identifying the AOs, marking the important numbers, marking the important facts for qualitative analysis. And next step is planning. So based on, like, you have identified that there are 6 AOs, there were 90 minutes, you have not wasted, I shouldn't say wasted. You have spent 15 minutes in reading the case. So you have 75 minutes remaining for 6 AOs. That boils down to around 11 to 12 minutes per AO. Now remember, there are 3 options: quantitative options and with lot of calculations, plus qualitative aspect as well. So the AO that is for analyzing the 3 options is going to take you some time, so a lot more time. Don't just go by I have to finish this AO in 12 minutes. You're not going to. Tax AO is going to take you less time because there is not much calculation involved in this. So you have to start thinking about, once you read and identify all the AOs, you will get a judgment like how much time will be required. So maybe you will be able to complete the tax AO in 7 to 8 minutes, because you have to just write what is the tax rule for those 4 items and what they are trying to do, and you have to just suggest them, conclude whether it would be taxable for their employees or not. But the 3 option AO is going to take you time, so a little bit more, like 15 minutes for that calculation part of that AO. So based on that, that is your first step. So 15-20 minutes of reading and planning time, and then you go. Just keep in mind that watch your clock. There is no separate clock to be allowed to be taken, or like you just have to look at your laptop corner clock. That's the only option. So keep keep uh, keep practicing it while writing your case. always print the case, and don't solve, like you will get a printed case for day 1 to 3. So start getting into that exam habit. Don't go over the time. And all the best. I think that's it for this session. And drop me your questions, comments in here on LinkedIn, wherever you're trying to reach me, and I will try to answer all your questions. Thank you so much. Bye.